Because the only thing that can top beating Bayley is me winning the Women's Royal Rumble match and then putting EST in WrestleMania.
What's going on, YouTube? Essentially, a place to be chill. Troy Mercedes back with another Friday Night Smackdown review for January 29th, 2021. We are at Royal Rumble weekend, even though it doesn't feel like Royal Rumble weekend, because usually we have the Smackdown, we had a takeover, and then the Rumble. We're not doing, there's no takeover, so we just got a Rumble coming up on Sunday. But I am always excited for the Royal Rumble, one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year. The one pay-per-views where we get the surprise that WWE actually tries when it comes to, writing stuff down. So, when it comes to SmackDown, we start off SmackDown with Daniel Bryan coming out, hype up the Royal Rumble, kind of like the Street Profits would do. He's back there, and he's talking about the Royal Rumble, and he's talking about, one of the things he never did in his career was win the Royal Rumble. So he excitement, he feels all the energy, and he go to 29 other guys and get that ticket to WrestleMania. And trust me, he knows what it feels like to get me in the main event of WrestleMania. But meantime, AJ Styles comes out with Almost, and he's there talking about the house AJ Styles built and how he's going to win the Royal Rumble usually. But then Daniel Bryan challenges him to a match tonight, and then he said and then Almost like steps right there in front of him and everything like that. And then he was just like, look, with Almost, I'll still beat you regardless. So we're gonna get that Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles match tonight, which we already know these guys got great chemistry, so that's gonna be a good match going forward. Now we get Bianca Belair taking on Bayley right before the Rumble. So it's a singles matchup. We have seen Bayley have Bianca's number all throughout. She actually won a match against Bianca, and she won Bianca won the obstacle course, but she made Bianca do all the stuff, and she beat her down to the obstacle course. So, time Bianca get her heat back, but even though I still want Bianca to win the Royal Rumble. So, these two had a very good matchup right now. Bianca selling the arm injury that Bayley was working on her arm throughout the whole matchup. And then finally, Bayley goes for a top rope, goes for an elbow drop, like right on Bianca Belair's arm, and she's like getting up. So that was a cool looking spot. But then Bianca fights back a little bit, then catches Bayley with a hard forearm, and gets a loopy, and puts her in the KOD. And then Bianca Belair beats Bayley clean. I thought she was close to the ropes. So I thought she was going to put her foot on the ropes, but no, she beats Bayley clean, and she goes up and she's like very emotional, and she's not being apologetic for who she is. Don't you ever do that again. Please don't be apologetic for who you are, Bianca Belair. And she hopes to win the Royal Rumble, which that's my pick to win. I hope they're fond of Bianca Belair, because Shayna Baszler was my pick last year, and they gave it to Charlotte. So I'm just like, no, actually they gave it to Becky. Because but yeah, Shayna Baszler was my pick. So I'm just like, okay, cool, all right. Or was it Becky? Charlotte? It was Charlotte. I'm sorry. I keep the pandemic year, man. It's like you might as well say that null and void the pandemic year. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So Bianca Belair is my pick. King Corbin comes out, and I was watching SmackDown at work, so I was like, "Oh, time for me to go home." And I literally drove home. I came back out. He was done. Good, because he was back there with Sasha Banks looking, looking back there with Reginald, and Reginald comes and gives her the bottle of best wine from Carmella, and she was all flirty with him. She says, "I don't know what it's about you, Reginald. Maybe because you speak a little French, or you bring me wine like that. But is there a wine that you can pick out for me to give to Carmella? See for her that she could drink through her broken jaw." So she that match is made official, which I already thought it was. But Carmella taking on Sasha Banks Sunday for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I still have Sasha Banks winning. I'll get all to that into my predictions, where you guys can get on the podcast. So it should be coming out pretty soon with that. So that's what that was. The original looks like, whoa, okay, but I like it. So you never know, they may do more with the original Sasha Banks storyline after that, though, because I said just seeing the man do Cirque du Soleil stuff is great. Sami Zayn is backstage, and he's still filming his documentary. He runs into Shinsuke Nakamura. Him, Nakamura, and Cesaro had that thing going on last year, and he was just like, look, Cesaro's doing good for himself, and you can see that. But then, you start off pretty good at the beginning of the month, but then you kind of cool down almost, because, look, anything that you have done successful with WWE has been through me. When you first got here, your debut match was against me. Then when it came to the Intercontinental Championship, it was against me. Saying I am responsible basically for the success of Shinsuke Nakamura, so you should be able to help me out. And Nakamura said, you know what? Yeah, I appreciate that, but screw off. And I was just like, oh, okay, so that whole thing is broken. Look like Nakamura is going back to being a face, only because of the music that we heard later on. That's the old school Nakamura music. So if they plan on having WrestleMania fans in attendance and Nakamura's there, they're going to sing that song. So if Vince don't like it, well, sucks. But yeah, it got in the Nakamura song. It should be there to stay. Owens and Reigns have a sit-down interview where Kevin Owens is talking about, there's no way to escape from Roman Reigns. Then Roman Reigns cuts him off and says, you know what? What kind of man was your father? If Kevin was like, yo, be careful when you go in to talk about my grandfather and my father. And he said, because they must not do their job of making themselves known as the head of the table, because you sitting there thinking that you can actually come up here and beat me for this Universal Championship, that you wasn't even raised right. I was like, woo! Roman is hitting on all cylinders. You can see Kevin Owens getting mad, but then he found there's a couple other things Roman said he was whispering, so I missed the catch. I didn't get the transcript of it, but Kevin Owens gets up and he says, I'm going to show what my father, my grandfather, my wife, my mother, my my kids are all the man I'm supposed to be. He gets up and gets very furious and starts yelling into the screen, but then Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman just cut their link off. Very good sit-down interview. The last time I seen this much intensity with a sit-down interview when they was egging somebody on and it got people pissed off was not Braun Strowman, was Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar getting ready for Great Balls of Fire. Back when they had the sit-down interview and Joe broke into Brock Lesnar's room. That was the last time I seen something like that, really that much intense. So I like the little split screen stuff that they have there. So I thought that was good. Time for our main event with Cesaro on commentary, Daniel Bryan taking on AJ Styles. So the matchup is really good. Good back and forth. Actually, we go back and forth for about a good 10 minutes. Okay? And then Sami Zayn comes out to the ring. And Sami Zayn is, there and doing his protest kind of thing. Sami Zayn and AJ Styles are still going at it. So then Big E comes out. And Big E comes out and then just attacks Sami Zayn. Then Cesaro is looking at Big E and then, he probably pushes Big E. Big E pushes him back and he kicks Big E. So then now there's a fight that's ensuing. And then all of a sudden, Daniel Bryan dives to the outside and then takes out all of them. But then, as he gets back in the ring to finish the match, Sami Zayn comes in there and hits Daniel Bryan. Disqualification. But Sonya Deville says, we're not doing it. After disqualification, here comes Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura comes down and he starts attacking everybody. So now it's an 8-man tag team match player. So there's Nakamura. And Otis comes down too. Otis comes down. No, wait a minute. No, we're not at Otis just yet. We're at Nakamura, Daniel Bryan, and Big E taking on AJ, Sammy, and Cesaro in a 6-man tag team match player. My apologies, I'm getting ahead of myself like Michael Cole. And so we're having a good 6-man tag team matchup, but then once again, Miz and Morrison come out, cause a disqualification again. So now we got a 10-man tag team match. And Otis comes down, gives the double catapult to Miz and Morrison. Now we get a 10-man tag team match, which is on one side we have all the heels, Miz and Morrison, AJ, Sammy. Is AJ, Sammy, Miz, Morrison, and Sammy. I did say Sammy. Oh, Cesaro. Excuse me. Taking on Daniel Bryan, Big E, Nakamura, and Otis, and we're like, so it's 4 on 5. And that's where it starts, how it starts. And then, of course, we get the whole finisher spot. Everybody comes in. It's a special move that he do. Big E and Cesaro had a great exchange coming in, catching belly to belly. Then Cesaro runs to belly to belly and goes to springboard. 360 uppercut on Big E. Awesome stuff. He kicks out. Then, all of a sudden, here comes Sheamus. Sheamus comes in when everybody's down on the face side for everybody to make the tag. And then he comes in there, balls of fire, and starts beating up everybody. And then he goes and hits a brogue kick on Sami Zayn. And the match is over, so they all win. And we're getting ready for the Royal Rumble. So that's what it is. Wait, I almost forgot that also after the match is over, then all of a sudden Miz and Moore start attacking Sheamus. They start beating him down. And all of a sudden Braun Strowman music hits. Braun Strowman is back. Braun Strowman is the one that comes after everybody rips the shirt off and everything. He's back from suspension from after Survivor Series, so it looks like he was nursing an injury type thing. So he's back on the Royal Rumble. He comes in the blaze and he just started running AJ Styles over, running Miz and Morrison over. Then he's power slamming everybody, power slamming Cesaro, basically getting all the heels out of here. That's what he's doing. So that was cool to see Braun Strowman back, and then so Braun Strowman is going to be entering into the Royal Rumble. And so honestly, this is kind of like a bit of a star-studded Royal Rumble, if you ask me. So Personally, this was dope. I enjoyed Braun Strowman come back. So SmackDown gets a pass from me this week. I done some of like for about a 4 or 5 week stretch. SmackDown has been really enjoyable to watch opposed to Monday Night Raw. They had a lot of Raw stars on there. When it came to Sheamus, AJ Styles. I mean, the draft wasn't even a couple months ago, and they couldn't keep them off. This is what happens if you don't build stars on your old shows. Like I said, I used to talk about one of my favorite Royal Rumbles was 2003 when you had 15 from Raw, 15 from SmackDown, and they crossed over for a year. It's been a whole year, so to see them actually, crossing over was dope. This one, not so much. So, make sure you guys post that comment down below. How do you guys feel about SmackDown? Are you guys excited about the Royal Rumble? Hit the subscribe button to check out my Royal Rumble predictions that should be up today on Saturday. And also, on Sunday, we're doing a live stream of the Royal Rumble right after the Royal Rumble goes off the air. So make sure you guys come. Our first ever live stream that we plan on doing for all wrestling pay-per-views this year in 2021, and see how the live stream stuff goes and see how often we are going to be able to do it. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed my review, and hit the subscribe button for more WWE content and wrestling content right here on NC Studios. So once again, it's NC a place to be. Chill, Mr. A&D, and the Nerd Coalition is out.